Hi, this is Tidra. It is February 22nd, 2012. It's Wednesday. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I'm going to give this a try. I wanted to share with you the Bernat yarn. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Crochet along that I'm doing. This is the company, the yarn company, Bernat yarn. And they're doing a crochet along where it started last week. We got our first clue. They provided us with a list of the type of yarns we would need. We're going to need 5 colors, a main color and 4 contrasting colors. And then last Wednesday they gave us the first clue, which was the first set of instructions for how to crochet the first little set or portion of the Afghan, and each Wednesday they'll be giving us a new clue to carry on, and by the time we finish we'll have an Afghan. We have no idea what it's going to look like. We just do the clue each week and see what happens. So I thought I'd show you kind of what I'm doing with it. Okay, so I'm going to move the camera here, so I don't know if you'll be able to see it now, but we're going to go down here to the kind of area where I'm going to be doing it. Okay, and what you need a crochet hook. This is size H. I don't know if you can really see that on there where it says H here, right here. And as I said, I'm using the Bernat yarn. This is my main color. This is Incense, which is a really pretty red color. The other colors I'm using are, this is Bitter Rose. This is a Bitter Rose color. And this is, what's this one called? Porcelain Red. This is Porcelain Red. This is Sundrift. And then this is Willow. The Willow, this is my gauge. You always want to check your gauge, and they told me how many double crochets to do and how many rows, which I did, and then it was supposed to equal or be 4 inches by 4 inches, which this actually turned out right, so I had the right gauge. If when you do that it doesn't come out to the right size, then what you do is you adjust your needle size and try again till you get the right gauge. The right number of stitches and rows equaling 4 by 4 inches in this case. Okay, and then this week's clue was to do this pattern. You did it once in 3 of your contrasting colors and 9 times in your main color. Now I've already done the once in the contrasting colors, and I've done 8 of the main color. I'm going to try and do the 9th one right here and show you. Okay, so we're going to start this out. Just make our first little loop here on the crochet needle. And the first thing you do is you chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to join with a slip stitch in the first chain so that we end up with a circle. This is always the trickiest part for me of the whole thing. Okay, so what you end up with is this little teeny tiny circle here. I don't know if you can see that real well, but there's just a little bitty circle there. Okay. Then the next row or circle we do is we're gonna chain 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and that first chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. Okay, now we're going to double crochet 19 times in that little circle. Okay, now to double crochet, you yarn over your needle one time, then put your needle through the little hole in your circle, yarn over the needle on this side, pull it through. Okay, so now you have 3 loops of yarn on your needle. Okay, then you yarn over one more time, pull that yarn through 2 of the 3 hoops, and now you've got 2 hoops on there. Then you yarn over one more time and pull through those 2 hoops. So now you just have 1 hoop left, and that's a double crochet. You can see it real well. Okay, so we're just going to work around, and we're going to do 19 plus the chain 3, so giving us 20 total. Okay, so we're just going to do that. And what I do is I yarn over, or do the stitch over, the little tail that was created when you first made your first little loop, to try and help secure it so it doesn't come unraveled. Get some more yarn out of here. Oh, my yarn's having a little fit here. Sometimes it gets tangled in there. There we go. So we're just going to keep doing that. And as you can see, as you work more and more into the hoop, so I'm working it right into this little hole right here, each stitch. And it starts to form a circle as the stitches kind of fill up the space. And you just keep working your way around. You want to kind of try and keep an even tension on your yarn the whole time you're doing it, so that your stitches have the same kind of are the same size. If you hold your yarn really tightly, you'll get a tight stitch, and if you hold it too loosely, you'll get a really loose stitch. The main thing is that however it is you do it, you kind of keep it the same throughout. Otherwise, your gauge will come out different, so your pieces will end up different sizes. So kind of as I'm doing this, as it's filling up, I'm going to kind of pull it around on this circle to make more room. Okay, I'm going to just count here for a minute and see how many I've got. I've got my first chain 3, which is the first stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I need 8 more. Okay, so we're going to do 8 more. So 1, 2, and you can kind of really see now the circle that's starting to form. You can see the center in it. Let me put a piece of white paper in there so you can see a little bit better. See the circle that's forming. Okay, there's 2, and see how my tail is just kind of now on the back. You can see a little bit how it's starting to be incorporated underneath. Okay, so this will be 3. Whoops. Okay, sometimes you have to be careful because the yarn is in, it's usually about 4 ply. So sometimes you'll get a little piece that kind of separates. You want to make sure you catch that up before you go on with it. It can kind of make your stitches too tight if you lose a little piece of the ply. Okay, and I've lost count again, but that's okay because I'm a little obsessive compulsive, and I counted a couple times when I finished to make sure I've got the right number. And see, it's filling up really well now. It's just getting real kind of tight there. Let's see how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 2 more. So I'm going to go 1, 2. And see, it's really tight now because the circle's gotten really full. Okay, so there's your 20 stitches. Okay, and then what you want to do now is you want to join with a slip stitch to that first chain 3 at the top of the chain. So you're going to grab that chain 3. A slip stitch is you put your needle through the stitch you want to join it to without having yarned over at all to start with. Then you yarn over and you pull it through that stitch and through the loop on your hook. Okay, so now we have a full circle. And now I'm just going to kind of play and manipulate with it a little bit so that it kind of is nice evenly spread around the hole there. Okay, and then just because it's a good idea to make sure before you start your next row that you didn't miscount, we're going to count one more time. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we have our 20 stitches. We have 20 stitches and we have the first round. Okay, and in instructions 1 there are 3 rounds. Okay, so this is the first one. Okay, the second round we're going to chain 4, and for this second round the chain 4 counts as the first double crochet and 1 chain. What we're going to do the whole way around is we're going to do a double crochet in each of the 20 stitches. So we're going to put our needle, yarn over, put our needle through the first stitch, yarn over again, pull it through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Okay, and then we're going to chain 1. Chaining is we just yarn over and pull it through. Okay, so the whole way around we're going to do a double crochet, chain 1 in each of the 20 stitches. Okay, so we did our chain 1, so now we're going to go in this next stitch. And we're just going to do that around. And this is a little bit easier now because you've got your 20 already counted out. And with the chain 1 between each thing, you have a little bit more space. It's not quite as cramped in the ring. Now what you're doing is you're making another circle right around the edge, and the chain 1 gives you a little bit of space, and doing it as a double crochet gives you a little bit of height. So we just work our way around in each of the 20 stitches. Not really sure what the best way to hold my hand is. We'll work on this as we go along, find the best way to do it so you can really see what it is I'm doing. But I yarn over, through the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's the double crochet. Then we yarn over and pull through for the chain 1 and start the next double crochet by yarning over, putting the needle through the stitch, yarning over again, pulling it through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. And we just do that the whole way around. And while doing it, remembering to trying to keep the same kind of tension with the yarn. It doesn't really matter if once you do your gauge so that you make sure you have the right size needle for how you crochet. Doesn't really matter whether it's a light or tight or loose stitch. It just matters that it's consistent. And the consistency is important because you need it to be the right size. And all of your pieces for this section need to be 4.5 inches by 4.5 inches. And I'll show you that when I get this one done. Hopefully we will end up with the right size. I do kind of a medium tension. I don't like to do it tight because it makes it makes the yarn, because the yarn tends to be a little bit stretchy. If you do it tight, it makes it real thin, not doesn't give it as much volume. I like to do it a little bit looser. I do kind of a medium tension on the yarn. Okay, I think that's my 20, but we're going to count it just to be sure, because it's always easier to count it now than to go back and find out you didn't do quite enough. Let's see, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so we're going to do our last chain 1. And then we're going to do again what we did before. We're going to do a slip stitch in the third chain of that chain 4 that we did at the beginning. So 1, 2, and 3. In that third stitch, we're going to do a slip stitch to join the circle together. Okay, so now that's the second round. Okay. Okay, now we're going to do the last round. This one's a little bit different. This one we starts with a chain 3. So we chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3. Okay, this round we're going to do 2 more chain, or 2 more, that counts as your first double crochet. We're going to do 2 more double crochets in the chain 1 space right here. So we're going to do 1 and a second. Okay. Now we're going to do that 3 more times. We're going to do 3 double crochets in the next chain 1 space. Okay, so here's the space where we did the chain 1. We're not actually going to do it in the chain. We're going to do it in the space that was created by the chain. Okay, so we're going to do 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's the 3 in that chain 1 space. Okay, so this was the original, the chain 3, and then 2 more in that space. And then we moved over to the next space and we did 3 double crochets in that space as well. And we're going to go to the very next one and do 3 more. And we're going to do that till we have 4 sets of 3 here on this side. 2, 3, and then we're going to move on to the next chain space. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so what we have now is we have 4 sets of 3. 3 in that space, 3 in that space, this space, and this space. Okay, the next set of instructions tell me to chain 5. So I'm going to chain 5. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now I have a chain of stitches, 5 long. Okay, and then it tells me to skip the next chain 1 space and do 3 double crochets in the next one. So we're skipping a space that coincides with that chain 5 and then doing 3 more double crochets in the next chain 1 space. There's the first chain 1 space. We're going to go to the next one, do 3 in there as well. Oops, see, I dropped it. Easy enough to pick it back up again. There's the second one. Going to do a third one. Pretty much what we're doing is we're making this look just like that first set of 4. So we're doing 3 in the next 4 chain 1 spaces. I need to move this keyboard tray in a little bit. Awkward kind of position for my arm. I'll have to work on that. Okay, so there's 3 of them. We're going to do one more set of 3. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we have another set of 4 3s. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing we did before, where we're going to chain 5 and skip this chain 1 space here. Okay, and then we'll start this part all over again. And we're going to do that 2 more times till we filled out the rest of it. Okay, so we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and do our double crochet. We're skipping that chain 1 space and moving into the next one. There's one set of 3. Going on our next set of 3. And each time I'm just moving along to the next group. Okay, so that's 2. So now we're going to move on to the third chain 1 space, do another set of 3. Okay, and then the last for this side, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now we've got that side. With our 4 sets of 3 in the chain 1 spaces. Okay, we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're going to do our last grouping of 3s. We skip that first space and move into the second. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. See, I caught a little extra yarn there. Let's back out that stitch. Now see, to back out, I just pull back out and put my hook through the loop on the prior stitch. Okay, because I'm not sure exactly where I picked up the little extra thread there. So I just undo it and redo it there, much better. Okay, now the third set of 3 for this side. 1, 2, 3, and then the last set of 3 for this side. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's that side. Now we're going to do our last chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to slip stitch to connect it to that original chain 3 so that we can finish out that round. Pull it through. There we go. Okay, now we need to fasten it off. We're going to leave a little tail. And to fasten it off, we're just going to take that tail and yarn over the needle and pull it through the loop all the way through the loop. And we'll pull it to tighten it up. And then we end up with our finished little piece. And that's the third round. Okay, measure. I'm measuring right across the center of that circle from side to side. So we're at 4.5. Turn it the other way. By 4.5. Okay. So that was the 9th. So for clue 1, what you end up with, once you've done them all, is you end up with 1 each of the contrasting colors, which are these 3, and you end up with 9 of the main color. And that's clue 1. So that's clue 1 completed for the Bernat Waverly 2012 Mystery Crochet Along. And I'm looking forward to this afternoon getting the next clue and starting the next set. And I'll give another try at doing it as a video, and we'll see if I can get a good angle for you to see a little bit better what I'm doing. But that's all for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye. Don't forget to breathe.